Hey everyone, Indoor Bush from Bush League Games here, and I'm starting a new gameplay tutorial on my channel for my homemade trading card game, The Flip Side. And episode 1 here is going to be about the game board, materials that you need to play the game, and then deck constraints. So here I got a deck here that would be appropriate for the game. So I'll start with the deck. You gotta have 35 cards total. You can have no more than 3 leader cards. So you see the leader cards are the ones that say leader at the top here. So if I have 3 leader cards here, that means I got 32 other regular cards in this deck right here. And you can have up to 2 copies of any card. So I can have 2 of these if I want. I can have 2 of these, 2 of these, or whatever. There will be a limited list coming out. Some cards will be limited to 1 copy. But just for the purposes of this video, the rule is that you can have up to 2 copies per card per deck. 35 cards total, and no more than 3 leader cards. And so moving on to the game board here, I just printed out a little smaller version of it. This isn't like an official game board or anything, but just for the purpose of the video. So I'll start here at the bottom here. You got your main deck and your leader deck. So obviously leader cards will go into the leader deck. Everything else will go into the main deck. So the way that you shuffle the deck to get the game started, you can't just do like a normal shuffle since it's double-sided cards. So what you got to do is you got to split them in half, and then shuffle them together. Kind of like this way. Or you can just do the same thing, just kind of cut it, flip it, and then kind of shuffle, because you want to make sure that all the cards aren't on the light side and all the cards aren't on the dark side. You want to make sure it's a good mix. And then you'll ask your opponent to cut the deck wherever they want. So right there. And then you flip it over, and this is your first card. And you place that down in your main deck area. And you do the same for your opponent, and then the game starts. What you also need is each player is going to need 10 battle tokens. In this case, I'm using pennies, because I don't have actual tokens yet. You'll need 5 counters, which I'm using over here nickels for. So I got 5 of them here. And these go with the ancient slab, which I'm using just a little post-it note right now, but it has a light and a dark side. And basically whenever it accumulates 5 of the counters, it'll flip over, and that'll start a whole bunch of stuff, but I'll go over that in other videos. And so you got the decks, the piles over here, the bank pile and the spent pile. Basically, the battle tokens are your resource for the game. Every action that you do basically requires you to spend a battle token. So if I want to, draw, each player starts out with 5 cards in their hand, right? Like this. But if I want to draw an additional card, I'll have to move 1 token from my bank pile to my spent pile, and then I can draw an additional card. There's other actions that require this as well. If I want to play a card, you can see there's token requirements right here on the left. So if I play this card onto the battle zone here, I'll need to place 1 token on top of it. And so there'll be tokens in your spent pile, in your battle zones, and in your bank pile basically at all times. And basically you have to keep at least 1 token in your bank pile at all times. You don't want to go bankrupt, or else you lose the game. So that's what those zones are for. And then obviously you have your battle zones and your equip zones. Those should be pretty self-explanatory. Any card that you play from your hand is going to go into one of those battle zones. Let me see if I can find a card that has an equipped effect here quick. Here we go. Yeah, so this card right here has an equipped effect. It says equip right there. And so if I want to activate this equip the card, I can place it right here in the equip zone behind the card that I want to equip it to. You can also equip to your opponent's cards as well. And then you have your leader zone down here at the bottom. This is where any active leader goes. So you have your cards in your leader deck here, but if you want to play, you spend the battle token to draw a card from your leader deck, draw this card, and then you can play it here onto your active leader zone. And I'll go over, the leader cards in a separate video and, what both of these effects mean, what the material cards on the left here mean. So you got Berry Reefback Turtle and Lava Dial. And then also go over here. This is the win condition for this leader card that goes along with the main objective of the game. But I'll go over that in a separate video. Just know that, leader cards go in the leader zone. And then the overall goal of the game, basically, is have a leader card down, and then whenever your cards accumulate enough battle tokens, so see this Voltage Viper here requires 1 token to be played on the field, but then you have to collect another 2 from battle. So each time you defeat a card, you get one battle token. And once it accumulates 2, then you're able to move it over to the excess area or launch area. And basically the difference between those two is if the card fits into the 10 cards that you'll need to satisfy the win condition here. So this one here requires 3 red, 3 blue, 3 green in a any card. And so if I don't have anything in my launch area already and I have this card ready to go, I'm going to put it in the launch area. If I'd already have 3 cards that are green and 1 other card in my launch area, it would just go to the excess area. It's just an easy way to track how you're doing with your win condition. There's no real difference otherwise between these 2 areas. But that basically sums up the deck constraints, the materials that you need to play the game, and then also the game board and how just the general flow of the game should go. Cards should go from your main deck to your battle zone to your launch area. And yeah, so in the next video, I'll probably go over the cards themselves and all the features that you can find on the cards and just all the types of effects and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that.